Money isn't math, it's emotion. People don't make financial choices with calculators. They make them with fear, pride, greed, envy, and hope. Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money explains why two people with the same information can make wildly different choices, and why wealth has less to do with what you know and more to do with how you behave. 1. Luck, risk, and Bill Gates's high school hustle starts with Gates. He didn't just get lucky in business, he got lucky in life. Gates happened to attend one of the very few high schools in the world with a computer in 1968. That exposure gave him a head start that changed his destiny. But here's the kicker. In the same school, Paul Allen, who would co-found Microsoft, also had access. And a third student, Kent Evans, was just as brilliant. Gates even said Kent was smarter than him. But Kent died in a mountaineering accident before his life could unfold. Luck and risk. Two sides of the same coin. The lesson: never judge success only by effort, and never ignore risk just because effort is there. 2. The janitor who died rich. Ronald Read worked as a gas station attendant and janitor. No one saw him as wealthy. He wore simple clothes, drove a used car, and lived quietly. When he died, he shocked everyone by leaving behind $8 million. How? He simply saved modestly, invested consistently, and gave compounding time to do the heavy lifting. Contrast that with Richard Fosconi, a Harvard-educated Merrill Lynch executive who went bankrupt despite making millions. The contrast is brutal. Your behavior with money matters far more than your education or income. 3. Tails drive. Everything in investing. A tiny number of events shape the majority of results. Venture capitalists understand this. They might invest in 50 companies, lose money on 40, break even on 9, and make billions on 1. The stock market works the same way. Amazon's stock has dropped by 50% or more 3 separate times in its history, and yet it became one of the most valuable companies in the world. The lesson: you don't need to be right all the time. You just need to survive long enough for the rare tail event to pay off. 4. Freedom as the ultimate dividend. Money buys things, yes, but the greatest thing it buys is control of your time. Housel points out that happiness isn't about Lamborghinis. It's about waking up and being able to say, I can spend today however I want. Warren Buffett, with all his billions, still eats McDonald's breakfasts and lives in the same Omaha house. The wealth gives him freedom, not consumption. 5. The seduction of enough. Rajat Gupta had it all. Immigrant success story, Harvard MBA, partner at McKinsey, board member at Goldman Sachs, worth over $100 million. But it wasn't enough. He risked everything by trading insider information to chase billions. He got caught, went to prison, and lost his legacy. Compare that to the Reed janitor story again. One man risked everything for more. The other never risked what he already had. The lesson: knowing when you have enough is more powerful than constantly chasing more. 6. Compounding and time. Warren Buffett is worth over $100 billion today. But here's the twist. If he had started investing at 30 instead of as a teenager, his net worth would be around $10 million. Still rich, but not legendary. His genius wasn't just in picking stocks, it was in giving compounding 80 years to work. Time is the single most powerful force in building wealth, and most people sabotage it by interrupting compounding, chasing the next hot thing, panicking during downturns, or trying to time the market. 7. Behavior. IQ. Housel emphasizes that financial success doesn't require genius-level intelligence. What matters is temperament. Can you stay patient when the market is down 40%? Can you avoid lifestyle inflation when you get a raise? Can you resist the urge to compare your neighbor's car to yours? Behavior, not brainpower, is what separates those who build wealth from those who lose it. 8. Stories we tell ourselves. Every financial decision is influenced by personal history. Someone who grew up during the Great Depression views money differently than someone who grew up in the 1990s boom. Neither is right. They're just shaped by experiences. That's why two investors can look at the same stock chart, and one sees opportunity while the other sees disaster. We think we're rational, but really, we're just storytelling creatures, explaining money through the lens of our own lives. 9. The role of ego, envy, and comparison. Perhaps the most dangerous force in finance is envy. It's what drove Gupta to risk everything. It's what pushes people to borrow money for houses or cars just to keep up appearances. Housel makes it clear there will always be someone richer, younger, luckier. If your happiness depends on catching up, you'll never win. True wealth is being content without needing to show it off. 10. Saving as the bedrock. We often obsess over returns, chasing higher percentages. But Housel argues saving is far more important. A high savings rate gives flexibility, resilience, and time. Someone who saves half their income can weather almost any storm, regardless of whether their portfolio returns 5% or 7%. Money isn't about knowing the formulas, it's about managing your own mind. Ronald Reagan's $8 million didn't come from brilliance. It came from patience and humility. Bill Gates's fortune wasn't only skill, it was also luck. Buffett's empire wasn't intelligence alone, it was time. If there's one takeaway from the psychology of money, it's this. Wealth is built quietly, kept patiently, and lost when ego, envy, or impatience take over. Money tips from the psychology of money. 1. Stop comparing your chapter to someone else's epilogue. Many people go broke chasing what others already have, forgetting that they might be years ahead in their journey. The lesson? Define your finish line. Ask, what's enough for me? Without that, you'll forever feel behind, even if you're doing fine. 2. Respect invisible risks. Financial decisions aren't just about the numbers, they're about survival. A lot of fortunes disappear because people ignore rare but devastating risks: job loss, illness, bad timing. A smart move is to always build a margin of safety, even if the math says you shouldn't need to. 3. Learn to admire without imitating. It's easy to see someone's flashy car or big house and think you should play the same game. But often, they're playing a different game with different stakes. The trick is to appreciate what others do without assuming you need to mirror it. 4. Accept the reasonable over the rational. Purely rational financial decisions are rare. Most people need a system they can stick with, even if it's not the mathematically perfect one. Example, paying off a small debt first for motivation, even if it costs a bit more in interest, can be smarter if it keeps you consistent. 5. Wealth is what you don't see. Spending shows status, but saving builds power. If your financial habits make people underestimate you, that's a sign you're doing it right. Real wealth is the freedom it gives you, not the applause you get for showing it off. Thanks for watching Little Big Books, where we break down big ideas from big books into short, easy-to-digest videos. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.